Good morning, guys. As you know, I am Karan, and my today's topic is privatization. First, I want to talk about what is privatization. Privatization means that a company which is run by the common people is called privatization, and it's not be handled by the government. My second topic, my first point is education system. Education system should be privatized or not. In my opinion, education system will be privatized. As we know, the government school is not providing education. The teachers are coming and make their attendance and go to home. They are not teaching our childs, and they doesn't want also to teach their child in a government school. They send their child in private school. They knows that the government school has not too much facilities, so in private sector there is too much facilities. Our children's is a study, everything is available. So in my opinion, the education system should be privatized. My second point is medical system. As we know, there is a medical Sadar hospital in our institute, in our Chapra, and that is there are too much doctor that have their own clinic. If we go there, their doctor says that if you will here, you will die. Come to my private sector. But in the government says that if you are doing in government sector, you doesn't have permission to open their own private things like private dispensary. But they are opening, and they are breaking the rules. But the government can't do anything because the government doesn't know anything, and they takes money from there and makes money from their private dispensary. So the government should be care on that, and in my opinion, the government has to take strict action against them, and it's not to be privatized our medical system, because there is some poor peoples in our society, so they can't be afford the private dispensary. So my next point is transportation. As we know, the transportation is a major things in our life. Railway is getting lost because the peoples in general are going into that and doesn't pay to our government. They doesn't buy tickets. So in my opinion, the government should be privatize our transportation. If it's privatized, there is too much facility. There is security in the railway. If someone go without ticket, they can be punished like 2,000, 3,000 money. So our government should privatize to come from the loss. My second is visiting place. In visiting place is like park. If the park is the government, the people go and throw garbage. If there is written, if you throw garbage, you have to pay fine. But they doesn't care. They think like it's my father properties, and then they do anything. If it's got private, they doesn't do anything because there is guard. If you will throw garbage, they can charge you or punish you against in the front of many peoples. If they get punished, they can't do anything again. So visiting place should be privatized. My next topic is bank. Bank sector should be privatized, because if you visit in our government's bank, there is everything. It's lunch periods come after lunch. As we know, there is no lunch in our bank. If someone is doing lunch, there should be one person again in beside of him.
There is a rule. If
Yes.
somebody is taking lunch, they have to another person. They have to take their all of things.
So I'm speaking.
Yes, please.
So they doesn't say. They all are doing lunch and say come back, come on another time. If they are, sometimes they are doing a server issue. There is no server issue. Our software engineer makes that the server too fast. They can run too easily, but they are making the excuses. If you go in private sector, if you have bank account of 10 lakhs, they comes to your home to take money. You have doesn't to go home. That's respect our customer, and there is no lunch time in our private banks. So private bank. So in my opinion, the bank should be privatized. My second last point is telecom. telecoms should be not privatized because the government is making too much money from that. As we know, there is a BSNL tower everywhere, but the BSNL towers gives the tower to whole like Jio, Airtel, using that tower frequency. So if the frequency will be high, so government can take more money from the telecom sectors. So government should not be privatize our telecom sectors because the telecom sector is the main major parts to gives the economic boost in our country. And my last point is defense sector. Defense sector is not be privatized. It's most important sector in our for country. If it's privatized, we know the private sector only wants money. They don't care what happens. So the government should not privatize the defense sector. If it's privatized, if you thought Mukesh Ambani has buy the defense sector, if Pakistan or China gives money to him, he doesn't send army, and our country will be in danger. If it's not privatized, the government has the full power. Our president is the chief of all three commands, chief. So he sent his army for the fight. So in that category, the government should not privatize our defense sectors. Thank you and have a nice day.
Well done, dear.
What?
This